Knowing animal abilities I don't want as a human being matters because the animal kingdom is so diverse, but more importantly, they evolved very special abilities that us humans just don't have. And to be honest, it would be pretty cool to have these abilities, wouldn't it? However, today we're going to go through some of these animal abilities that I don't want as a human being. Sense of smell. Many animals have developed some of the most sensitive and powerful smelling capabilities. The bear is unmatched in the animal kingdom. Black bears have been known to follow a food source that is miles away from it, and the polar bear can smell a seal through 3 feet of ice. 3 feet? I mean, how is that even possible? However, as a human being, I don't think this is an ability that I would want. Think about it for a second. If we can smell through 3 feet of ice, can you imagine some of the nastiness we would be smelling in a city? Take New York City, for example. I used to live in Manhattan and commute on the subway every day. For those that have taken the New York City subway, I'm sure you can attest to some of its very unique scents that lingers around down there. I mean, think about it. It is by far the oldest subway system in the world at over 100 years old, and it really hasn't been updated to modern standards. So you can imagine the type of odors that's down there. Now, think about how much more nastier the smell would be if we had the same smelling capabilities of bears. 100-year-old tunnels that has seen everything from floods, rats, rat poo, decade-old garbage, homeless people, rotting wood and steel. The list just goes on and on and on. Just being near one of the entrances of the subway would probably deter me from going in if I could smell everything at a heightened level. Natural camouflage. There are animals that have developed some very unique camouflage. One in particular is the octopus. Now, the octopus can not only change its colors, but it can also change its skin texture. It's very unique to the animal kingdom as it's one of the few animals that can do this. It can dynamically change instantly to its environment. Now, there are also animals that have evolved to actually look like leaves, branches, rocks, or other animals to deter predators or to ambush a prey. Now, as a person, I'm not sure if this would be ideal. First off, if we had the abilities of octopus, can you imagine humans based on emotion change their skin color and texture? It would be kind of weird to see humans change skin color walking down the street. It wouldn't be as extreme and perfected like Mystique from X-Men, but can you imagine? Our world would be nothing but a bunch of people disappearing and reappearing out of nowhere, kind of like this guy, and changing colors back and forth. It would be kind of weird seeing humans changing colors back and forth, but at least there would be less lying in the world. Sense of hearing. Animals have developed some serious hearing capabilities. Many animals can hear sound frequencies that humans just can't hear, and to be honest, I would prefer that. The bat and the moth are 2 examples of this. They can hear sound frequencies that are well over our limits. Can you imagine all the annoying sounds you can hear if we can hear beyond that? Now, granted, since we are humans, we can't hear it, but if we could, all the annoying sounds in our everyday life would be heightened. Squeaks, creaks, random grinding noises, air noise, electrical interference, dog whistles, just a level of sensory overload that we definitely would not want in our daily lives. And don't get me started on how useful this would be in the spy world. Because it would be. Scent emitters. Now, we all know when it comes to scent, there's no animal more infamous than the skunk. These animals are known for throwing their scents when they are threatened. Also, the stink bugs are insects that release an odor when disturbed or crushed. I have to admit that while this is a fascinating ability, I wouldn't want humans to have this ability. I mean, think about it. Humans can get very emotional and defensive very quickly. Can you imagine if humans emitted our own perfume like skunks? If you're getting robbed, stink bomb. Getting nervous before a performance? Stink bomb. Getting into a fight? Stink bomb. Getting your heart broken? Stink bomb. It just wouldn't be very pleasant. Growing nonstop throughout our lifetime. Some species of snakes continue to grow throughout their lifetime and can grow to be absolute giants. Humans stop growing once they hit their mid-20s. Can you imagine if we continue to grow until we die? Our world would be such a different place. Just my opinion, but honestly, I think that just about everything we know in our daily lives would have to accommodate lifetime growth. The average growth per year for humans during puberty is about 2.5 inches a year. Now multiply that by, let's just say, about 70 years. We're talking close to 14.5 feet. Obviously, some of us will be taller due to how much we eat, the genetics, etc., etc. Cars would definitely be reimagined and much larger. Homes would definitely be a lot larger than they are now. I feel like everything could go modular in our lives so we can replace smaller, outdated pieces with new, larger items to accommodate the forever growth we would have if we had this ability. Also, the amount of food that we consume would increase every year. I mean, think about it. The hot dog eating competition was won by Joey Chestnut, and this guy ate 74 hot dogs. 74! I can barely eat 4. I can only imagine if we were just that much bigger, how much more hot dogs could be eaten. But to say I want to grow forever, I'll stick to how we are now. Hibernation. Now, this is actually a toss-up for me because half of me want this ability as a human, and the other half says, hell no. Here's why. Can you imagine if we can hibernate throughout the winter and wake up for the spring? We don't have to deal with the winter and the cold and just wake up to the warmth. Another thing is we can just fatten up from summertime all the way to the point before hibernation. And when we wake up, we'll be nice and thin to start the spring and summer months before we fatten up in the fall and get ready for the winter again. No need to exercise to lose all that weight. We lose it automatically during hibernation, and that would be great. However, there's a downside to this. First off, we would be sleeping, which means we wouldn't be cleaning ourselves. Hygiene would be a pretty big issue for us. We don't have the physical ability to fight off bacteria and other little parasites that might get us while we sleep, which means that all these germs and bacteria can grow and infect our skin. We just would not be very clean and would need some sort of defense man-made or natural to fight it off. So what do you think? Can you think of some other animal abilities that we as humans would not want? Sound off on the comments below, and as always, subscribe to see more of why knowing matters. See you on the next one.